All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors go out to our apostles, Elders Great Millstone, who and teach well. Shalom, Barakim to you brothers and sisters out there. All right, this is Brother Malachi from the Great Millstone Nashville camp. And Lord willing that this lesson is edifying to the hopefully elect. Right, I'm going to need to think of a title when I actually upload this. I usually don't really have titles in mind, honestly, but I'm going to be going into the MOTB, which is the grain of rice, the C-hip. You know, we have code words that we got to use for it because we don't know, especially now, 2025, we don't know what the algorithm is going to pick up and clip, which we don't water down the truth by any means, right? No matter what type of algorithm Esau puts out there, we're going to still give you the 100% truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, but we'll have to basically kind of, I guess you could say water down our wording, use code words. We might need to ease up on certain, phrases and things we use. Because sometimes Jake gets zealous and, especially with Amalek and stuff, we got to be careful. But nonetheless, wise as serpents, harmless as doves. We're still going to bring the word out, though. It doesn't change that, right? We're still defenders of the gospel. So I'm going to go into the MOTB. Before I do that, I want to actually grab the scripture in the Apocrypha real quick. Because it's all about where your mind is at. And your mind needs to be occupied, of course, first and foremost in Yahweh Shemel Shai in the scriptures. But you need to be occupied in prophecies. So this is Sirach, chapter 39, and verse 1. Hold on, the camera's in the way. I can't see the search button. So like it. I could probably just put it over here on this side. All right, yeah, that's better. Well, all right. So Sirach chapter 39, verse 1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecy." So you're supposed to be, which, let me just grab the word. Let me go to etymology. Occupied. Okay, yeah, I might need to move this somewhere else. Because I'm recording off my phone, but I'm on the computer. Let's probably put it right here. There we go. That'll do it. Just lock you for that. Because either side, it was blocking something that I need to see. Alright, so occupied on Edamon line. It just directs me to occupy, so I'll just grab that. Same word. It says occupy means to take possession of and retain or keep. To take up space or room or time, employ someone. So you're supposed to be occupied in prophecy. You're supposed to be busy, right? You're not supposed to be an idle servant. Okay, you're not supposed to be just sitting around, which, is there going to be days where you might be lowered and others? Yeah, but you always need to make sure that no matter what you're going through, you're tapping into Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right, whether that's, well, first and foremost, pray. You need to be praying every day, right? And, quite frankly, I'm going to say it in, Yahweh, it's not, offensive to anybody, but nobody should have to tell you to pray. You should, there's way too many things to pray about for somebody to have to tell you, hey, bro, you got to pray. Now, somebody may say pray more, but there's no reason you shouldn't be praying. Unless you don't know the names and you just came in, okay, but if you've been in this truth Like, yeah, I didn't pray yesterday. It's like, wow. I'm very concerned, brother. Like, what the fuck? You should be praying when you wake up. You should be praying before you eat. Praying before you drink things. You know, like bless, like if you have some yayan or, especially like when we're not on this, during this feast, avoiding yeast, you might have, certain drinks or whatever. You got to pray over these things. Pray over your food. Shit, sometimes I pray over the water, because everything's all defiled and fucked up. Now, I'm not saying every chip you grab out the bag, you got a bag of kettle cooked chips or something, and every chip you pray, no, but especially for like meals, if you're drinking alcohol, just pray, because especially with alcohol, it opens you up, opens up your spirit. And I just always pray to the Lord that He blesses, the alcohol. That He, allows me to remain in the spirit. Don't allow because demons will take advantage of, especially people in the world when they're drunk. Which you're not supposed to be getting faded anyways. Right? You're supposed to be, in control. You're supposed to know what you're doing. Don't be reckless with anything. Okay, and then herbs. You might take cayenne pepper and paprika, ginger, turmeric, these different things. Maybe you're making like a smoothie, or some sort of juice or some sort of like health shot, which you can also buy, but of course it's probably better to make it yourself. It's probably better for your pockets. Barakai Shabium, bless the herbs. You just gotta pray, and beyond that, pray for spiritual blessings. You need to be throwing up prayers to rebuke Satan and get these evil spirits off you, out your mind. Pray to the Lord to put off the flesh and to gain more wisdom and faith and fear. The scriptures tell you to pray without ceasing. Okay, but back to that scripture. I'm going to read it again, just get back on topic. Sirach 39:1, it says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecy." So you're supposed to be paying attention to the things that's going on. Especially if you were appointed to be a teacher over Yahweh Bashim Shai's flock as a prophet, you are supposed to be paying attention to the news, things that's going on. You're supposed to be bringing it out and broadcasting it to the sheep, keeping them updated and alerted on what is going on in the earth. All right, especially here in Babylon the Great, aka America. You're supposed to be occupied in these things. And then another reason you should be occupied in prophecy is not only because it's our job as prophets, but don't you want to get out of here? So why have you not went on End Time Headlines or SHTF Plan or tapped into a brother's video like Eliyash was in the news or something, turned on the news, went to Dabu 7. Why haven't you done any of these things in a week, 2 weeks, a month? Do you actually want to get out of here? Are you really hastening the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai? If you're not occupied in the prophecies, if you're not constantly in the news looking for articles and things, first and foremost, that it's just beautiful to see. It's one thing to read these words. It's another thing to see them popping off the page. It's a beautiful thing, man. And honestly, that type of feeling when you read something, especially if it was years ago, you were reading it, bringing it out at camp, made a lesson on it. Then a few years later, it starts to come into fruition. The words of Yahweh by Shemal Shai, that type of feeling, you can't trade for the world, man. It's especially when this C-Hip comes out, because especially the apostles and elders on down, we're talking about 30, 35, 40 years, in this truth. And especially back in 2007, I'm pretty sure they were teaching it even before that. I think they were teaching in the 90s or definitely the early 2000s about the micro C-Hip, okay? The M-Hip, whatever you want. You know what I'm talking about, the grain of rice, the implant, okay? RFID or NFC, because if you live in Europe, it's like a little batteries on 10%. If you live in Europe, I believe it's called NFC, which RFID is a radio frequency identification device, and NFC is near field communications, I believe. Either way, all right, because you'll have Simple Jake. Well, I didn't take the RFID. I took the NFC. You're still also going to take that missile. So you need to make sure that you have it pressed in your mind that no matter what situation you find yourself in, you are going to seek Yahweh Shema Shai, which should already be your protocol. But especially in that time, the hour of temptation, no matter what situation you find yourself in, you are not going to take that C hit, man. All right? Because all these other camps will have this drama and they'll be talking about all these things and, they got the clickbait videos and it's all cool and funny and all that. Great. But what about when that becomes mandatory? What is going to be the talk of the town when Esau says, hey, if you want to come in Monday, it's Saturday or Friday or whatever. If you want to come in Monday, you got to get this implant. What are you going to do? Oh, you want to buy this cart of groceries? Well, where's your C-hip? You want to continue to get Social Security benefits? Where's your C-hip? What are you going to do in that situation? Because Revelations 3 and 10, Yahweh Shai told us that he's going to keep us from the hour of temptation. That doesn't mean we're going to get beamed up. That would be great, but that's not, which, we always want to, get the kingdom and things like that immediately. And of course, because Jake is tired, fed up. We hate this place. But what you need to understand is you need to be tried, okay? Which we pray we're of the elect. Right now, we know we're called. We don't know if we're chosen. Yaharatazar, we are chosen. We really hope. But you just need to focus, man. Focus and continue to endure because all of our faith, every single one of us, all of our beliefs are going to be tried. They got to be. Yahweh Shai said, shall I find faith on the earth? We got to continue to push, continue to endure. You got to show your worth. Even though we know no matter how much we do, no matter what we do, we're never truly going to be worthy for Yahweh Shema Shai's salvation. But the Lord loves the effort. He wants to see who actually cares, who believes. We got to earn it, man. Are you going to get the kingdom because you're an Israelite? Yes. Me personally, I don't want to get to the kingdom just because I'm an Israelite. Which the Wadiyah by Shema Shai for that we are Israelites, from whatever respective tribe. Because we'll find out for sure in that day. As long as we, being a part of Israel is good enough, man. But I don't want to get to the kingdom of heaven because I'm an Israelite. I want to get to the kingdom of heaven because I put aside my flesh. I put aside my desires. I put aside, basically sum it up, my life, our lives to do this. And like it says in Hebrews 11 and 6, without faith, you can't please the Lord. And you got to believe that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So you got to believe that there's a reward coming for this. And it's not unrighteous to think about the reward. Or to have the reward hanging up in front of you to keep you pushing forward. There's nothing wrong about that because Apostle Peter even said that, right? He said, we've forsaken everything. What are we going to receive, for doing this? Yahweh Shai said, whatever you forsake is 100-fold. Some of us may have to lose our lives, but you're going to receive 100-fold of that in the kingdom. So it's all going to be worth it. You just have to continue to remain in the spirit and remain occupied in prophecies. Give diligence to make your calling and your election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall. All right, so let me go ahead and get this Revelations. I know I'm off topic, but personally, because we're all different, and like Apostle Ariamla made that video, coming to your own. That's just, I've come to accept that that's just how my videos are. A lot of times I won't know the title. I might have a starting point, I might not. I just usually roll through the spirit, and a lot of times I end up talking about multiple things, or I'll have a topic and then just veer off completely into something else. As long as it's edifying, that's what matters, and that's another thing you learn in this truth. You don't mimic men, okay? We look up to, we have role models, right? We all have role models. Jake always has role models in his life. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't have idols. We're only to worship and praise in the literal sense. We only worship because we know worship really just goes into reverence or respect, but we only actually worship and praise and serve Yahweh Shema Shai on that type of degree. Now, we serve one another as well, but on a lower level. We serve one another, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, we only truly worship Yahweh Shema Shai, Yahweh Shai. Both of them, not just the Most High. All right, his son as well. We understand that Yahushua is under the Most High, okay, but we understand there's the order there, but we still worship Yahushua as well, okay, contrary to, I can't even say popular belief, but contrary to, some other doctrines that are floating around there in the abyss, all right, but anyways, Salaki, to finish that point, because we got role models, but we have to understand that we all have our own spirit and we all have our own portion, and just do what you can, just continue to push. Figure out what your role is, what your lot is. We all got a lot of learning to do. And that's the beauty of it. We pray that we can get out here tomorrow, but if we're here for another year, then that's another 12 months to grow. That's another 12 months to get better. That's another 12 months of prayer, fasting, spiritual development, physical development, dietary workout, shit like that. It's more time to get prepped. We don't want to be here another year, but if we got another year, 2 years, 3 years, take advantage of that and grow as much as you can in that time. All right, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." And that he is talking about Esau, starting with the elites. All right, because Joe Swanson down the street, he's not going to cause you to, he's not going to try to get you to take the MOTB. Okay, he's not. He doesn't care, right? He is talking about the elites, the so-called Illuminati, especially, the house of Amalek. Okay, but it said both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, everybody. All social statuses, so-called racist ethnicities, in prison, walking free, whether you're a bus driver, a security guard, they don't care. Boom, you got to take it, all right? To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, mark, charagma. Go into it. The root karax. When you look into all these words, the actual word and the root itself, it basically summarizes itself into a prick, something that gets put into your skin via a prick, And then I think stigma, I'm going to that as well, which is a part of 603 scoring 6. Stigma, I believe, goes into like a palisade or a stake. It also goes in a prick. It's very clearly, when you go into all these words, it's talking about something implanted into your body, especially in your brain, your forehead, behind this. So what it's saying is in your head, in your brain, and in your right hand, all right? Like right here. This is where people usually would get it. Does that mean that if somebody gets it in their left hand, they're good? Does that mean if somebody gets it down here in their tricep area, they're good? No, you're not good. Okay? And the fact that your mindset would eat, well, says you can't take it there, so I'm going to get it here. It shows that you know it's off and it's through and you're trying to wiggle around it. And the Lord don't deal with wiggling people, man. Lukewarm, fence riding Franklins, the Lord ain't dealing with that. Whatever you want to call it. Okay? Turncoats. The Lord ain't dealing with these dudes, man. Okay? He's not. If you take this, you're done. You're finished. Now, this really applies to Israel because the heathens, you're not getting saved regardless. But here's the thing. You don't know if you're a heathen. Okay? Because you could be an Israelite. You don't know. So, my advice for anybody watching this video is don't take that. Point blank period. Do not take that implant. Okay? Don't. But, most people ain't going to listen because we look at the prophecy and a lot of people get destroyed in that nuclear fire. So we already know a lot of people are going to take this. All right, that's very obvious. But for those of you that believe on this truth, that believe on the scriptures, that believe on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you have no business taking this micro C-hip. None at all. And you're probably like, well, then I might lose my house, my job. No, there's no might. You got to accept that. You got to accept the fact that everything that you have now that is tangible can and will be lost in that day. But it doesn't matter. Because, let me go ahead and grab this real quick. 2 Corinthians 4. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17 to 18. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. All right, so I mentioned how right now what we're going through is a light affliction. It also said it's but for a moment, meaning it's not going to last. That goes with that Sirach 2 in verse 1. It's like it. Hold on. All right. Thought there was another one. It says, but which is but for a moment, which is not forever. Oh yeah, I was going to say Sirach 2 and 1. Let me just grab that real quick. Sirach. We ain't got nowhere to go. We ain't got nowhere to be. Sirach chapter 2 verse 1. Actually, no, that's not it. It's in this chapter though. I'll start at 1 though. Sirach chapter 2 verse 1 down to, we'll go down to 6. We'll just run through it real quick. It's not going to be long. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So this is expected. Like it says in, I forget exactly where it is. I'm pretty sure Apostle Paul wrote it. He said, the fire, no. Actually, I think it was Peter. Nothing strange. Don't consider it strange, what's happened to you. The fiery trial which happened to all. I butchered that. Roughly paraphrasing. I pray that brothers and sisters can look that up and find that. You know what? No, let me actually do that. Because I need to do that some justice. That was just bad. Okay, here we go. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12, it says, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. So this is just Israelite 101, bro, that we're talking about here. There ain't nothing crazy about you catching hell. That's literally the whole point of you being here. You're supposed to get tried, right? Back in that Sirach 2, verse 2, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, which shows that it's not like you're going to catch hell once a month. No, this is a constant thing. Now, every brother has different portions, different things that they deal with, for different amounts of time, which is why you don't compare yourself, first of all, and you need to look at everything individually in that aspect, okay? But it says constantly, so there's going to be things every day. It might be different, varying degrees. It might be, one day it might be less, one day it might be more, one day it might be woman problems, the next day it might be car problems, it might be Satan, it might be, you don't know, everybody has their own lot, but constantly meaning it's a continual thing. You're not going to go through hell your first 6 months and then you're going to be good for the next 5 years. That's not, if you're good for the next 5 years, that means the Lord ain't doing with you. You didn't catch hell for 5 years, bro. You had a smooth sailing life. You made money. Your woman listened. Your kids listened. Everything went well. You kept your job. Esau didn't mean mug you. Jake didn't mean mug you. You didn't have demonic thoughts. It sounds like you're in the world. Verse 3. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So you got to cleave unto Yahweh Shema Shai, not just in the rough times, but in the good times too. Because a lot of times Christians, they'll cleave onto the Lord when they're fucked up, and when they're in a so-called pickle, a bad situation. But the Lord wants you to cleave on him all the time, even when you're good, even when you got everything. It's a Friday night, you got a little drink in your hand, you got good food. It's been a great week. Everything's going well. Still praise, even more so. Praise, I can't even say even more so, because in good and bad, like Job said, shall we receive good at the hand of the Lord, not evil. Praise Yahweh Shemel Shai, the water Yahweh Shemel Shai, and still pray. There's even in your best moments, there is a lot of things to pray for, man. A lot of things. Spiritual things, I'm saying. Okay? Spiritual things. Because a lot of times, too, your best moments is just the Lord giving you a moment of rest before he throws you right back in the furnace. And that's a beautiful thing, man. That shows Proverbs 11:1. The Lord deals with balance. All right, verse 4, it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Patience goes into suffering. And it says, take cheerfully, which it's not literally saying, laugh, have a good time. Because even in Hebrews, which I believe Timothy wrote Hebrews, somebody correct me on that if I'm wrong, by all means. But I believe that's what I heard. But regardless, not to say irrelevant, not to say that's not important, but outside of the point that I'm making currently, it tells us in Hebrews, the 12th chapter, that these things are not enjoyable but grievous. Right? Going through hell sucks. But be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Be patient. Not are you only in a low estate as an individual person. Our whole nation, Judah down to Issachar, southern, northern kingdom, which really, we're coming into the times when there's no longer southern and northern. It's just Israel. Once again, all right, we're being reunited. Our whole nation is in a low state. We're all in a fucked up bind that we cannot get out of. We all need Yahweh Shemel Shai. It says, for gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. And the reason why, going back to Hebrews 12 even, talks about how we are chastised for our sake. It really makes you better. That sounds crazy. But even like we're working out, building muscles, a big reason why you get that soreness is because you kicked your muscle's ass. And your muscle now has micro tears. And in resting, those micro tears will come together, which is probably another reason why the Lord gives us rest days, where most of the day might be chill or cool or way less hectic than it usually would be, chaotic, because that's when you're able to actually meditate, recollect your thoughts, breathe, refocus. Because I'm about to come off of a 5 days off, being for the most part being with a brother, being with brothers, being in the spirit. Even if we're not doing a lesson or reading, we're just enjoying the brotherhood. Getting a taste of the kingdom, enjoying the fellowship. Meditating, self-examining. Just trying to take a break from the stresses and tribulations of this world that constantly rip and tear at our soul. But this truth is a beautiful thing, man. And there's no better place to be. There's really not. I don't care how low you are right now or how high you are or whatever. There's no better place to be than in this truth, man. This is the only chance. This is the only chance, and it's the best chance. Well, first of all, we don't deal with chance, because chance deals with luck and percentages. We don't deal with that in that aspect, okay? No. There either is or isn't. Yes or no. Either you're doing what you're supposed to be doing or you're not. There's no in between. Either you're hot or you're cold. Okay? So, with that said, Yahweh Shemel Sharatazah, that we continue to endure and push, seeing as we have the heavenly gift, I pray that we can maintain it, and Lord, when that this lesson was edifying to the hopefully elect. And before I close, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachah HaKodash, double honors to the Apostle, Elder Great Millstone, and Shalom.